Hello, my name is Zachary Royal, and this is a presentation of our CS43 project. We chose to pick the game Crazy Eights. Now, in the game Crazy Eights, each player is dealt a hand of 7 cards. There's also a draw pile and a discard pile. The only cards that are relevant in these piles are the top cards, so these are the only cards that we are showing. So when we initialize the game, we see that each player is dealt a hand of 7 cards. There is the top card of the draw pile showing, which when a player draws a card, they will get put into their hand, and the top card of the discard pile. Now, when a player plays a card, they can only play a card that matches the suit or the value of the card. Um, Also, each player has a particular strategy that dictates what card that they will play. So here we see the player order consists of player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. So the player that should go now when we do a move is player 1. And we see that they've played a card. This card pile has been updated. So now player 2 must play a card that's either clubs or of the value 9. So they don't have any 9s, so they're going to probably have to play this 7 of clubs. And we see they do. It's been updated. Now we could also have the players do an entire turn, like this, or just do the entire game. We see that player 1 has run out of cards, and we get a message here that says game over, player has won. The game can now be reset with this restart button. So now we can restart the game, and again, this is full functionality, so you should be able to restart the game at any point. So you can even restart the game from the very beginning. We see they're all getting various new cards, do a full game, restart the game. Now the next thing we can also do is skip a player. So right now the player order is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we want to skip to player 3's turn. So we'll skip once, player 2 is up next in the queue, skip twice, player 3. So now when we do a move, player 3 is the first person to play. Now another thing we can do is change player strategies with these buttons here. Here we're going to be showing off the highest strategy. So if we skip to player 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we set their strategy to playing the highest card, we'll have that player do a move. Now their options are playing the Queen of Spades, the 9 of Hearts, the 6 of Hearts, and the 10 of Hearts. Obviously the Queen of Spades is the highest choice, so let's see what they choose. And they play the Queen of Spades right. Here in this situation, we have a 9 of Diamonds showing. So let's skip to player who's got multiple diamonds. Player 2 has multiple diamonds, so we'll skip the current player's turn, and we'll switch player 2 to always play the lowest card with the conservative strategy. So they can either choose between the King of Diamonds or the 9 of Diamonds. So they should be playing the 9. And here we see the 9 of Diamonds disappeared from their hand, and 9 of Diamonds appears back on the discard top pile. This is going to be a test of the wild card strategy now. So here in this strategy, the player will always play the wild card, which in Crazy Eights is 8. So we're going to switch player 1 strategy to play the wild card, and we see that they have 2 8s. So they will just arbitrarily pick between one of these 2 8s, do a move. There we go, and it plays the 8. Okay, so now we're just going to show all those strategies in conjunction with one another. So player 1 is going to always play the highest card with their current strategy. So they're currently going to play the Queen of Hearts, as we see there, because that was the highest card they had available to them of the cards they could play. Player 2 is always going to play the wild card. However, currently they don't have a wild card in their hand, so they're just going to pick the very first card that they can play, and if they cannot play, they're going to draw a card and then play it if they can. So here, they were able to play the Queen of Diamonds. Player 3's hand is to play conservatively, so they're going to pick the lowest card that still matches the suit or value. So here, that would be the 5 diamonds we see play, and the 5 diamonds is played. And then finally, player 4 hand, they're just going to play the first card possible in their hand that they can. So we see them play the 8 diamonds there. For the media portion of our game, players can sign up on the site, and then choose another player to begin a game with. So here, we see Johnny is playing a game versus Doge at the same table. We see that here, it's Johnny's turn, and there's a 7 of spades showing. So he can play an 8 of spades, a 5 of spades, and that's it. So he can play 5, and then this person can play 5 of clubs. When a player has no more cards to play, they can simply click on one of the cards in their hand, and it will automatically draw them cards until they have a card that they can play. This process continues until one player empties their hand and wins the game. The winning player will get a winning message, and the losing player will get a losing message. It will show you the completed games, as well as the win-loss record, and a list of other players that you may start a game with.